Maybe it's a good thing, because the weather's going to be so bad, we may have to lose it.
Right. That signal. All right. What's up, everybody? Everything go out all right? Yes. Let's check out the control room here. Who's filing in here? Who do we got today?
Paul's here. Chris H. Jeremy.
Orion.
Where's Orion?
I don't know. Orion just showed up here. What's up? All right.
Hello.
What's up, everybody?
Claudio?
What's up, everybody? We're getting ready to do a show.
Who else is going to NAB?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I got
Dude,
that
I'm so
in my notes.
excited. I'm so excited about NAB.
I am too. Yeah, we should talk about that a bit. I got that in my notes for the wrap up. I'm gonna go ahead and wanted to share this.
What's up, Palmer? Palmer, you're in Vegas, right? So I'm assuming you're going to NAB. Do. Hey, you guys. Hi, Sarah.
All right. Cool. I think I am ready.
Let me. 44.1.
How come?
Test 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Why am I not getting the chat on the? This is weird. Oh, it's because I'm looking at Mograph TV. I wonder if I tweeted out or not tweeted out, but I wonder if I went to the wrong one. We got multiple live streams going. Live controller. Orion was in the other stream.
Oh.
There we go.
That's funny. I was
All
like,
right. Now I see everybody. Cool.
You got lives on lives on lives on lives.
Stacks on stacks. All right. I'm going to hit record.
I am rolling as well.
Double check that I'm good on my hard drive space right now. It's been a while.
Claudio, that's so sad. Wish you were coming.
Right.
What's up, Silver Stuff? I know, that's exciting. I haven't seen Phil since last Camp Mograph. It's been a couple of years.
Gosh, I know. I'm excited about that. All right, I think we are good to go. Do I look a little dark? Should I brighten up? I feel like
I always feel like you look a little dark in comparison to me, but you know, I think that's our personal lighting styles. I'm much more of a brighter, more flat look, and you always like things a bit more moody.
I love the.
You can always a lot more contrasty. You can always tell that whose render is whom's.
Oh yeah, I love me some contrasty render. Oh, I didn't get an energy drink. I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be a short show. I'm gonna go get an energy drink. I'll be right back.
I'll entertain everyone with my jokes, my stand-up comedy. Camp Mograph is greater than NAB. You will find out. You will find out. I'm very excited about Camp Mograph. It's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. I think we're announcing teachers this week. Teachers and presenters and stuff this week. I think so. Yeah. So.
Cool. All right. Let me get my notes.
If anyone has a hookup with Pepsi, I'm really looking to get like a gigantic pallet of Mountain Dew Zero because I can't find it anywhere except for the 7-Eleven by my house.
You can't find Mountain Dew Zero?
Zero. No, can't find it in 12-ounce cans.
Oh.
I can only get them in bottles at the 7-Eleven by my house. So I go and I spend like $8 on 4 of them. Chad,
let me just
unfortunately, we had some technical issues. So he's not going to be able to make it today. So it's just us, but that's okay.
Sure. Okay, that does get us to the screen. There we go. All right, cool. All right. I think we're good. You're rolling, right?
I am rolling, yes. So you got a whole bunch of my nonsense.
It's all right. We should do a sync clap.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
sounded right on where I'm at. I don't know about you.
Well, it would. I mean, it's on your side, right?
Right.
All right, here we go. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And that's it. And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, artist suggestions, show topic ideas. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, which I'm not streaming to today. Didn't have time for that.
You're on the drop. You're on the drop, by the way.
I am on the drop. Whoops. Oh, well.
Three
What?
screen.
What?
Three screen. You're on the three screen.
Sorry. God, we should just start over.
Right? It's all right. You cut that out.
Oh, yeah. I'll cut it in post.
Nah. Let it go.
All right. So, no, let's just start over. Let's just start over.
Okay.
For real. All right. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and Chad Knight was supposed to be joining us today. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, so it is just going to be the two of us.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, artist suggestions, show topic ideas. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, mograph.com. Not on TikTok today. Didn't have time. Chad is not here. We did not get on the line early enough to tech. We got on the line about 4 minutes to live, and it's just not enough time.
Didn't have enough time to
go live because there's a lot of tech stuff we have to prep for.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to reschedule that. Yes, email us your grievances, including this grievance right here from Michael. That, I tell people to send us the grievances.
I like the grievances. I feel like it's what is it? The Seinfeld episode with the Festivus.
The Festivus,
right?
Yeah.
We need to have that. Should be our Christmas episode this year. It should be a Festivus episode where we just all
air our grievances.
Air
I
our
don't
grievances.
think we'll be in business anymore after that. Everybody drops. Yeah. No. The grievance that we got was last week with Gavin that or 2 weeks ago, I guess, because we didn't have a show last week, that we started the drop 20 minutes in. And he said, what about what he's been up to and his new pieces and what he's working on and what he did through COVID? We did address that once we got into the drop. The thing is, we have to go to the drop because the drop is split into its own show. And if we talked about all that before the drop, it's all NFT related. Everything he's been working on is NFT related. So it's like it's the same show. It's just that
it's really just a good idea to expect that if we're talking to someone who's big into NFTs, we'll probably go to the drop early.
But the big thing is that we had him on the show before.
Yeah.
So we had talked about that stuff in the past, and I don't want to rehash, because most people have seen that, or you can go back and watch it. We don't want to have the same show as before. Yeah. So we try our best to balance that stuff out.
It's all good. It's free entertainment, so.
NAB. Let's talk about NAB for a
Let's
minute.
talk about NAB.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about NAB.
Excited.
I just went on vacation for like 8 or 9 days, and I'm ready to get out again. Haven't even done like 3 days of work, and I'm already ready to to get out. But I'm excited to see everyone. I am going to Motion Plus Design this weekend. If anyone in LA is going to be there, I would love to meet up with y'all. If y'all are going to be at Motion Plus Design, that'll be fun. But NAB, yes. So excited. We got our tickets to fly in and help with all the tech stuff with Maxon and stuff. It's going to be so exciting. I cannot wait.
I wanted to talk about the video that we put out too, because we did a video with EJ and we just went through kind of like what you do at NAB, because there's people who haven't been to NAB before and they don't really know like what's the plan. Do I just go to the floor and show up? Do I go to these presentations? And I won't rehash the entire thing because it's in the video if you want to go watch it. but we sat down with EJ and we talked about everything that we do whenever we're at a show. You know, what happens during the day? What kind of tickets do you need to get? Where are the parties at? You know, what tickets do you have to get for parties? So make sure you check that out. NAB.com. I'm sorry, Mograph.com/NAB2022. You can find it there. You can go to our YouTube channel and find it as well. And just figure out a game plan, because what I'm hearing now is that a lot of people are coming. We weren't sure at first what was going to happen. We were like, you know, is it going to get canceled? Are people going to pull out? Are there people that are going to be a little wary of going?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sure all those things. I mean, other than the canceling, I don't think it's going to get canceled.
No.
You know,
I really doubt that at this point.
I think right now we've hit like a lull in COVID enough to where we can have that happen, and then it can go haywire after that.
Yeah.
You
who
know.
knows? Yeah.
It probably. So.
I mean, unless, you know, Omicron Zebra Delta comes out in the next week.
Omicron plus Max.
Yeah, plus Max. Yeah. Unless that comes out in the next couple weeks, cross your fingers and we'll all be there. And the thing is, a lot of people like on Slack and you know, just around Discord are talking about the fact that they're going now. And I really think there's going to be a lot more people than we originally thought showing up.
Yeah,
so
just exciting. Unfortunately, we are not doing our karaoke party.
Rides.
It'll probably be next year. The only reason we're not doing it this year is because of the pandemic, and I'm sure no one wants to be in like a real stuffed limo full of people and then, you know, sharing things of alcohol with everyone, you know, and then singing into microphones, spitting into microphones and stuff like that. So we decided it would probably be best not to do it. You know, I think there's going to be enough parties and enough hanging out and stuff like that, you know, it'll be great.
Yeah. I'm excited. Check out that video. Let us know if you have any questions, and hop in the Skype under the NAB channel as well. If you have any questions, or if you want to coordinate with people, maybe people are looking to split a hotel room or a B&B or something. Because, you know, honestly, like, you don't spend a lot of time in your hotel or wherever you're staying. You're going to be out doing stuff. So
you're going to be out, yeah.
If you want to go on the cheap, go on the cheap. You know, it's all good.
It is very easy to go on the cheap to NAB.
What's up,
super easy. Hey, what's up, man? We were chatting yesterday all about NFTs and such.
Also, Rococo suit update.
It's ridiculous.
So far, it's all right. It's all right so far. We're getting our Rococo suit the second half of March now, which is fine. I'm just hoping that we get it before May, when Jags is supposed to come and hang out with us.
Second half of March? We're already in the second half of March.
Are we?
Yeah.
Where is this year going? Okay, well,
we'll
get it in the next couple weeks.
I doubt
the next week?
Doubt.
Well, actually, no. They mentioned they had some logistics issues, and they're working with their logistics partner to fix that. As long as it shows up before May, and Jags's shows up before May, and Barton's shows up before May,
Barton's he's already got his.
Together. Oh, he has his.
He already has his. Yeah.
Lucky.
I know. I want to go over. I told him I was going to go over to his studio and like play with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But then I got food poisoning and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that, because we really want to get into it. We don't know anything about it, and we just want to start at the beginning and just really learn it. And Jags is going to help us figure all of that out, because he's done it a little bit before. Also, the Infinite Journeys winners. Oh my God.
Yes. Holy cow. It was amazing.
First of all, Chris Theron, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, is the winner. We'll see you at camp. Because that was the first prize, is the camp ticket. And the top 100 are there were 2,448 entries.
That is
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, congrats to, to Clint for putting together such an amazing community of people. Like, we struggle sometimes to, get people to participate in contests and stuff like that, but he's got such an amazing group of people that he can bring out, and it is awesome. It's
just
awesome.
it's like first of all, and the top 5 winners got a mograph.com class as well. And so we sent those out, and then Clinton put the top 100 string out video out, and they are just like, I've probably watched it 5 or 6 times at this point. Like, I watched it, Julie and I watched it, we put it on again, we showed her mom. We watched it with my family this weekend. I was telling them about it, and we were over barbecuing funny. And I put it up. Like, it's just so good. Like, the amount of talent, and it's done on so many different platforms. I mean, so many different styles. You had like the 2.5D, and you had like the 3D toon shading type stuff, and man, just so many different styles, and it's just so good. There's a behind the scenes breakdown video of a lot of these, but Chris did one, showed how he did that. I'm not sure what capture suit he was using for that, because there was just a short clip. He just jumps on the chair. Because the winner was the one with the woman shooting like the space creature or whatever. But it looked like he was doing the motions for that, wearing some sort of suit. I don't know if that was Rococo. I couldn't tell. It was a fast shot. But we'll put a link in the show notes so you can see that 100 string out. You can see the behind the scenes, and also, if you have the time, go watch the 4 or 4.5 hour whole long thing with like
so insane.
With Clinton and everybody else on the stream. Like I think In Hubert was on it, right? And
we should just put it on Mograph TV.
Oh, let's just watch that right now.
4 hours.
Yeah. So congrats to everyone. Like, I recommend that everybody go watch that, because it is just incredible.
Yeah.
The 3D motion show. Let's talk about that too. Wednesday.
Yeah. Got a total jerk on there. I don't know about that.
Asshole is coming on.
I will be presenting for the 3D motion show on Wednesday. Very exciting. We're going to be going over some of the stuff that Dave and I worked on for the Madden 2021 game a few years ago, which was really fun. It was really, really cool. So some of the Madden Ultimate Team card reveals,
Yeah.
So
we can finally talk about it.
We can finally talk about it. Yeah.
We've been saying we've been working on NDA stuff for a few years now. Like, there's like nothing to show anymore.
There's nothing to show. Yeah. It's so funny, because I show off some of the, I'm going to show off some of the work that we do as Nexus Motion, and it's like all of this stuff was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, It's like have you seen the what's her name? Amanda Gaudreau, her TikTok where it's the dun, 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 and she's like slowly moving, but it says NDA.
Oh, yes,
like,
I have
seen
seen
Let me show you some
one.
of the work that I've been working on.
Yeah.
Man, she's killing it on TikTok. So good.
Oh, she
good
is.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I put out a TikTok yesterday behind the scenes on making promos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. I've been going through the woes of dealing with like TikTok not functioning correctly sometimes. Yeah. It's a long story, but yeah, go check it out. Get us some views on there.
Yeah. Y'all have no idea how much Dave puts into Mograph. Like, no idea.
A little bit. It's a little bit.
It's yes. Like, it's a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
And he's doing it basically for free.
Yeah. Someday I'll get paid for it. Someday.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
If we don't in the next few years, we're just
Everybody's probably like, where's that class money going?
Right.
First of all,
back into Mograph.com.
A large portion of it goes back to the instructors.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is going into some future things for Mograph.com.
Yeah.
And that's all we can say right now. But
stay tuned
we will
for that.
This year be revealing some of that.
Yes. Finally.
So, yeah. Wednesday morning at, I believe, 10:30 Central Time is when the 3D Motion Show starts. You... Chris Schmidt, and then some new friends, I believe, in the ZBrush area, if I'm not mistaken, will be
super exciting.
And so I'm hoping some of these ZBrush and Red Giant and Redshift people are at NAB, so we can really talk, especially the ZBrush people who we have not really seen anywhere before. Like, you see the Red Giant people even before. Maxon and Red Giant were together, and the Red
Yeah,
Shift people. But
I mean,
haven't
they didn't
talked to
have
ZBrush
booths
people.
or anything at the
Yeah.
Red Giant, but they were all around the internets and hanging out at parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting.
Yeah. I really.
It's going to
wanna...
feel like a whole different booth. It really is.
Yeah,
sure. Because they didn't have Red Giant at the time, the last NAB, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have the only thing they had was Redshift. It was like I think that was the last NAB was when they announced it. Yeah, it's crazy.
I believe so. Yeah. David McGavran pulled a little trick on you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you tell that story?
I don't know. I may have. When they were telling us that, so McGavran had just taken over. This was the first time I had met him. We're at NAB, and so they were revealing that they had bought Redshift. And so they take us back to this little booth because they're going to tell us ahead of time so that we're ready for it, so that we know since we're running tech for them. And so we sit down. I'm eating a piece of pizza. I'm hungry, so I'm eating a piece of pizza. And he says, so just want to let you guys know before you hear it, we got bought out by Adobe, and my jaw dropped and like pizza fell out of my mouth. It was super embarrassing. And he goes, "No, I'm just messing with you."
It's very sus. I paused. I was like,
It like honestly, like my heart sunk. It felt like I had that feeling when you get fired from a job. That's what it felt like. But then he's like, "No, I'm just messing with you. We bought Redshift." And I was like, "Okay, that's probably a good choice."
Yeah, and I don't. Did I have anything else to say about NAB? No. Is there anything else we need to tell the audience to be ready for with NAB before I go on to the next topic?
Just make sure you get your tickets for the beer party. Do you have the information on that? It's
at mograph.com/NAB 2022. You can see the video, and there are links to where to get the tickets, including the free exhibit pass code from Maxon.
Cool.
So that you can make sure you're good there.
Mograph meetup is on the 24th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, April 21st at Tom's Urban. And
right.
So I think there's like 2 hours of free drinks and stuff. So it's gonna be fun. If you haven't been to the beer meetup before, it's like everyone who is anyone is there.
And the pinball meetup is on Tuesday, not on Monday, which I did note in text on the video, but we thought it was Monday in the video.
Cool. So it's on Tuesday. Interesting.
Yeah. The thing is, NAB is a little different. It used to start on Monday, and now it starts a day early, so everybody's like confused on what day to do their parties. I'm actually okay
with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I like being able to get home sooner.
Yeah, it is. It does make for a tough week. You want to stay.
Yeah.
And even though we're going to be worn out, this is something we didn't mention in the video, but if you're staying for the whole thing, even if you're not staying for the whole thing, do not book yourself an early flight. You're going to be out late. And you're gonna
on that
not
last day. And I mean, ask for a late checkout at least, We when we were booking our flights, we booked our outward flight a little bit later so that we could like slowly get up and go hit a lunch buffet or something. Just
take it. Or else you're gonna be like still drunk. I mean, let's be honest. It's Vegas.
That's funny.
A couple notes on Mograph TV. Again, we added Swarovski's show in there. Between the keyframes, I almost say it wrong, and even like one of our friends
between two ferns.
Between two ferns. I don't know if it was John Haley. Somebody the other day said beyond the keyframes, and I accidentally once wrote behind the keyframes. It's between the keyframes.
Between the keyframes.
Yes.
Because that's where all the magic happens. Is between. That's where the tweening happens.
Yeah, the tween.
Between.
Yeah.
Between.
Yeah. And there's new episodes of Playing Arts that are coming out, as well as Gavin's series on like the mathematical loop stuff is
fun.
Going to be coming out next week as well. So we've got that. So that's going to be fun. So make sure you check that out. Hashtag always live. That's my new thing. Hashtag always live. We're always live. So Mograph TV, put it on Put it on at your place of business.
Yeah.
Where you work in your
everyone
office.
watch us.
Well, not just us, but all
Not
the other
just
cool
us.
people.
Everyone.
Actually, don't make them watch us.
Don't make it. Just turn us off.
Yeah, just turn us off. Yeah, you couldn't avoid that. And yeah, turn it on. Yank the knob off. That's the motto.
Yank the knob.
Yeah. A couple of things. Today, we are going to talk about project management a little bit, but
real quick,
Mhm.
Camp Mograph updates.
Yeah,
Can I
let's do
mention
that.
those?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Want to give a big shout out to our newest sponsor, Grayscale Gorilla. Super excited to have them on board, sponsoring Camp Mograph. In case y'all don't know, tickets go on sale for Camp Mograph April 20th. So in less than a month, we're gonna have all the information for like the cabins. We've got 2 different types of cabins this year. So just make sure and stay tuned to look out for those. We are also announcing, I believe we're announcing teachers this week. So teachers and at least the ones that we've confirmed, and everyone, there's a few that are still on the fence, and we're still working out a couple of other things. So the ones that we've confirmed, we're going to be posting online, which we're very excited about. So we've got that. April 20th is tickets go on sale at noon Eastern time. So make sure you're ready for that. Set yourself an alarm. And big shout out to all of our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
The first one up is Otoy, our global sponsor, who is sponsoring like overall the entire event. We're super excited. They're our Spider Lord sponsor. Super excited to have them on board. So thank you, Otoy. As well as our 2 village sponsors, Maxon and Video Copilot. So super excited to have them as well as our newest sponsor, Grayscale Gorilla. Thank you to everyone who sponsors. Y'all help keep the price of tickets down, and helped us add that additional day as well to camp. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really excited for what this one is. And y'all are going to love the camp. I'm so excited about this camp. It's going to be so cool.
Hey, you know what?
It's so pretty.
You know what I was watching on TikTok this morning is Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
How many UFO sightings there have been off the coast?
Really?
And we're talking not just like stupid. We're talking the ones that you keep seeing that the government is saying we don't know what these are. And we like there is a guy who said we saw these every day. We saw these every day for the years I was out there flying around the coast, and it's all been declassified now, and they're coming out talking about it. So you might see a UFO.
Well, that's reason enough to go to Camp Mograph.
I know. Maybe it's the Spider Lord. Maybe
right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Spider Lord's been, crafting his UFO to get back to his home planet. Right? I don't know. Just making it up as I go. Before we talk about the project management stuff, though, I did want to mention tax update. If you are a business owner, you have hopefully filed your taxes for the March deadline and getting ready to file your personal taxes. And I do want to say we learn something new just about every
time
year.
we do taxes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can do this now. And sometimes it's a new thing, and that's why we learn it. And sometimes it's something that's been around for a while, or maybe it's the first time we've utilized it or whatever. This material has been prepared for informational purposes only, is not intended to provide and should not be relied on for tax, legal, or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. Now that I've said that,
thank you for that. Thank you for that disclaimer.
Cryptocurrency, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because we've talked about capital gains before. The example is you have some cryptocurrency. For example, you did your Beeple piece, the infamous Beeple piece. And when you have money in crypto and it gains, you get your gains and you hodl, and then you cash it out within a year, correct? You have to pay tax on the gain.
You pay, okay, so from what, if I understand this correctly, it's like any other investment. If you sell it within a year, it's just counted as regular income.
Right.
So for me, counted as regular income.
And it's basically, you just translate it, from what I can see, for the most part, you're just translating it to stocks, or you're translating it to what normal fiat would be, right? So one of the things that I learned in doing reading, because I had the same thing, but my Beeple piece was a little bit different, the way that I got, did my transaction and whatnot. If you're selling any goods or services for crypto, okay, this isn't crypto that you had in and it gained value. This is, I'm selling something for, just like I usually would, but instead of like a merchant account or cash or fiat, I'm using cryptocurrency to get paid. They're paying me cryptocurrency. What it says is that is considered the same thing as if somebody gave you straight cash for something, right? So if you do get a large sum of money because you sold a piece of art, for example, of course you have to report that money, but you're reporting the crypto from that the exact same way that you would report cash for something. And what it says about that as well is that can also go into your self-employment income, right? So for us personally, we have sole proprietorships that are just kind of, they used to be us as independent contractors, and now we're just sole proprietors. So on that you can put that there, so that's where it goes, and that's where you pay the tax on it. So there's no there's no other additional taxes on top of it, is what I'm saying. The other thing that I learned is the food write-offs. You could probably explain this more.
I don't know it very well. I was just going through. Let me see. Food write-off.
Long story short,
they changed some stuff as far as the deduction. So there was
back to 100%.
December 2020, they changed meals. Meals and beverages will be 100% deductible if purchased from a restaurant in 2021 and 2022. Yeah, which is cool because they originally got rid of that or changed it to where it was only back 50% or something like that. But I think in order to help out because of the pandemic and stuff, they changed that.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So you can get some write-offs there. Of course, we talked about gas mileage being one of the best write-offs that you can have.
Yes.
So if you have a dedicated vehicle for business, that's even better because you could say 100%. The discounts, and now this isn't new, but I just wanted to reiterate that discounts can be a write-off as well. So let's we talk a lot about how you might have a new client or something, and they're like, well, can we do it for this budget? And then you say yes, but you always go on and you put the discount on the invoice because your client knows, okay, he's giving me a discount this time. This isn't his regular price. This is a discount. So on the next one, if that discount isn't on there, if you didn't do that,
it's
they'd
kind
be
of
like,
covering
well, that's
your
not
ass,
what you charge.
because if you do count, but then the next one is like, oh, I just need 2 days of work. It's like, well, I'm not going to give you the same discount for just 2 days of work,
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, so that they know this is what my actual rate is. I'm giving you a discount based on that. Yeah. So
like if you do promo codes too, same thing. You can, there's a special place for that to go as well. So there's just things that we learned or maybe already knew, just wanted to bring up. I had kind of forgotten about the discount thing until it came back up on my stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, we should talk about that. So
talk to your tax accountant as well if you have one.
Yes.
About some of that stuff.
Yes, states are different too as well.
Yeah.
So you really have to make sure that you're following it and that you're doing it in a way that coincides with the type of business you have set up too. You might not be able to do some of this stuff depending on what kind of company you are. You sole proprietor, incorporated, are you an S corp, C corp, whatever. So, just pushing you in the right direction a little bit. And real quick, let's go to some Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
It's been a while.
It has been.
And
I have not tasted that flavor.
The flavor of Octane, because Jules wrote on one of his tweets is talking about Metaverse Tech, and he's talking about GTC 2022 and the talk he's going to do. I'm so excited to see what's coming in this.
Amazing.
Is
that tomorrow? The conference is today to the 24th.
Well, so the thing that he said in the tweet is that he's going to be talking about Solana and its integration with Render and how that's going to happen, and the Omniverse and
Mm-hmm.
like where all of this fits. He's going to be talking about the metaverse and decentralized everything. But he also posted a link to some of the stuff he's going to be talking about when it comes to Octane. And
Mm-hmm.
this is really exciting stuff. It didn't show everything that he's going to talk about, but one of the
Mm-hmm.
things was about like AI geometry reconstruction and like things working like you know how Nanite works
Mm-hmm.
on Unreal, kind of doing
Yeah.
something similar to that in
Yeah.
Octane. Was there anything else? I don't really
I feel
remember.
like there was a lot. I mean, he talked about a lot of stuff in the future, stuff to be really excited about.
Well, the preview for this talk, though, I think there were two things in particular that he showed off, but there's going to be so much more, and I'm super excited to see what that is. I replied to what he wrote on Facebook and the videos clips that he put on there, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, we're gonna have to schedule another show for you to come
Yeah.
on and give us all the details again. And he was like, absolutely. So we're gonna do that, and we'll try and figure that out after the talk because I'm gonna need some
Yeah.
time to look through the talk and
Right.
like organize my thoughts and questions because it's gonna be another one of
It's
those shows.
yeah, and like the last episode where I went through and I watched the entire thing, and there's always some really good nuggets in there that no one really talks about. That
Yeah.
he just kind of like glosses over, and it's like,
Some of it
no,
goes so
this
quick.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I definitely recommend people watching that when it comes out.
Mhm.
It's Friday at 9, I think 9 a.m. to 9:50 Pacific time. So 11 Central, 24th. So, yeah, I think you can register online. Let me see. I've got the
I
email
usually catch
here.
it after the fact. It's usually at a time where, and like there was one time like it was during an Apple announcement too or something, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I remember
man,
that. And everyone was talking about Kubernetes.
Kubernetes.
Yep.
But
If you go to
Kubernetes.
nvidia.com/GTC, you can click to attend. So
There you go. I got some links for you before we go to the project management stuff.
here's some of Dave's links.
I've got, well, the two of them. I've got the Infinite Journey stuff, but I had two
Yeah.
other links I wanted to mention. X Particles previewed something this week as well.
Gosh, man, X Particles Insidium is like kicking ass
Yeah.
lately. I need to download all their stuff, but like
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not caught up
very
with
excited
any of
about
that.
what they're doing. Yeah.
So what they gave a preview of this week was, I believe this is pronounced Teo, but I'm not sure. T-A-I-A-O, I think that's right. Sneak peek coming soon to Insidium Fused. And this video basically shows off kind of a tree leaf plant system that they're working on.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
check
yeah,
this
yeah.
out. Yeah, looked really
I'm
good.
curious if it's going to be like a good competitor to like
Speed tree
or
Forester,
Forester
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
What I was noticing in the video, and of course this is always, hey, it looks good in the video, but let's see how it responds in a viewport. But how like even seeing the wind and stuff and the dynamics were all in viewport, and it looked like it was playing very well.
Yeah.
Very, very buttery.
Yeah. I don't know if we mentioned it. I'm pretty sure we did, but they showed off a GPU update back in February, like about a month ago. I'll put the link in the show notes. But man, it was like their new GPU stuff that they're doing with like liquid sims and stuff. Absolutely incredible. I cannot wait for that. Like I need that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting for all of that. I need to schedule maybe, I don't know, 5 days to sit and play with everything that I'm not caught up with in X Particles because
I love X Particles. I love it so much. Like I want to do a tutorial series on it. I feel like that would be my next good tutorial series is just going over how to jump into X Particles for someone who's never really done it.
You sent me a link here.
Yeah, that was the GPU update to throw in the
okay, cool.
the thing.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
let me see if I can find go to about like a minute and a half in,
Okay.
and you can see like kind of what they're. Oh boy.
What?
Like what the difference in what the CPU versus the GPU,
Okay.
like when he switches over to the GPU. I mean, it's so fast, so many particles going so quick.
Are they
See,
going to apply this to everything though?
I
With
think
GPU?
so. I think so.
All right, let's see what happens here.
I mean, that's GPU right there. That is like tens of thousands of particles right there.
Yeah. That's on a 2080 Ti too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just
imagine these
imagine.
3090s and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
I'm curious
Wow.
if they're going to be able to like use the NVLink or do multiple GPUs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll let you know what we hear and what our
Mhm.
experiences are with that. And then I also wanted to mention this. This is an oldie. I'm sure everybody knows about this. But this is something I knew was out there, and I hadn't really dug into it for a while, and I just thought it was worth mentioning if you hadn't heard about it, and that is the Happy Toolbox.
Yeah.
And I know most people know about this, but if you are looking for just kind of like art-directed objects, especially if you're doing stuff that's very illustrative, or you're trying to do like sketch and tune or whatever, and you need some items like, for example, if you're listening in audio and you're not looking at this, cake and a cupcake and chocolate and a cherry, like different kinds of food and plants and what else? Weapons, building blocks, trees, stuff that you can use for like stylized frames for, man, just about anything. Like I just looked at this and I was like, all right, just another one to have in the back pocket, because when the project comes up, you're like, oh, what's that site?
Yeah.
Just make sure you bookmark that one, and that'll be in
Yeah.
the show notes as well. So that's it for the link. So I wanted to just, we had been talking about doing an episode like this. We didn't really prep, but we're going to talk about project management. We had some people ask about that. Before we do, Mark has the question of the week in the
How do you fax
chat.
a burrito?
How do you fax a burrito?
I would assume that you would take a picture of a burrito and then fax it, right? Did you know that so there's like a 21-year overlap in which the samurai, Abraham
yes, I
Lincoln,
do know that.
and the fax machine all existed?
Yeah.
So there was like 20 years or so where a samurai could have faxed
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Saw that
know
on
if we
TikTok
are we
this
going to
past
find out
week.
the answer today from Mark, or is he going to just let us know
Yeah, I don't know.
next week? That's the question. I don't know.
No idea. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm opening my Notion, and I won't be able to show these things, but I can talk about them.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, if we would have really prepped this, I could have had some samples to show. But
Yeah.
we're going to talk about project management because, like we said, over the last 3, almost 4 years, we have been working on so many kind of like bigger NDA projects and behind the scenes, and there's a lot that goes into managing that when you have multiple people working.
Absolutely.
Now that can have to do with like file sharing, file structure, just coordinating with people in general and what their schedules are, contractors versus employees, that whole thing. And people asked us, how do you deal with that? And we've kind of come up with a good system, I feel, for doing project management. A lot of it is centered around Notion, but you don't have to use Notion. You can use anything really.
Notion
that works
to
for
me is the best that I have found as far as I don't think there's any perfect project management software out there. It is all personal preference and
Right.
stuff. And Notion to me, like once you wrap your head around it, it's great. Yeah, I think it's really, really good. Especially for
Yeah.
managing a large team and being able to see timelines. There's a couple things I wish would change that they would update
Right.
on it,
Yeah.
but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like you said, everybody has their personal preference, and the thing about Notion is that you can make your personal preferences happen just on the fly.
Yep.
If you're doing a project and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to add this column of options or a checkbox or a drop down list, you can just add that to what you're
Yeah,
working on. You can resort, you can change it, you can make a new version of a view that shows like all the data in the way you want to see it, instead of maybe somebody else who's working on the project in a different way.
correct.
And that's what's great about it. So, for
Yeah, I
example,
love think of Notion as basically just like a database, you know? You're just
right.
inputting all the information and then you've got options to view it or to organize it in whatever way is most comfortable to you, which is great. And you know, what's cool is like for example, we've got like a timeline view that gives us a breakdown of like dates and everything so we can immediately see, you know, who's assigned to what and when they're due. And then we've got another one where it's like a card one where you can drag and drop cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So it's like, okay, we need to know what needs to be rendered, what, you know, hasn't been rendered yet. And you can drag and drop those cards. So in just one quick glance, you can see what needs to happen.
Yeah. And it assigns it to the person who needs to render it. Like, there's so many different ways you can use this. And I can bring up this because this is the Mograph Live one that we use here. This will be a good example, is you can see like the shows that are coming up. And we work with Jeremy on some of this as well. And so, you know, Jeremy has access to this. He can change things, move things around. But I love what they do as far as like a thumbnail gallery, because if we're working on a project and we want to just have some sort of visual reference, we can just go through. Imagine these are projects, a project we're working on.
Right.
These are the different videos. These thumbnails will be those things, but there's so much like drill down, like fine tuning that you can do to customize it to your own thing. Like, so for example, if I go to the live show archive gallery, this shows like everything since we started organizing it, right? So you can see all these back shows, but you notice that it only had the latest upcoming show when I first opened it up. And that's because they have filters and sorts and things that let you really like, you know, figure out this custom solution. Like I have like, don't show anything unless the date is after yesterday's date.
Right.
So that it will show only this stuff moving forward. And if I want to go look at the archive, I can. If I want to look at just the drop or just Mograph or whatever. And then you could do it in lists. Like I have a list set up here too, where you can put the show number and you can quickly get information, and you can quickly get like, what's the social media promo going to look like for this or whatever. So we'll tie this back into doing an actual project, which I'm going to, now I have to, you know, take it off the screen because I can't show the project, but I'm going to use it as a reference to tell you how we utilize some of this stuff. So when you set up a project, it's very variable depending on like if you're working with the studio, if you're working internally, you know, if it's for you, if it's for other people. What we like to do is use things like priority, for example. Like what is the priority of this particular piece? Who is working on it? Obviously, what's the status? It's nice to have a whole status that goes through and says this is in pre-production. You know, this is in process. We're holding on this. Sometimes the question is, are we holding because of us, or are we holding because of the client? Right. So that's all put into that database. So you can look at an existing project and you can say, we sent the pitch, or the pitch was approved, the final was sent. There's even a complete and uploaded
Are you able
section.
to show like the Camp Mograph one? Because we could kind of show what we did there.
I would, but it has people's personal information, so
Okay.
I can't really bring that up.
Right.
The Camp Mograph one was cool too. I'll give you an example. Is we had, you know, there's a line in there for every person who's attending. It has their info, how to contact them, emergency contacts, allergy information,
T-shirt size,
everything.
if they ordered a hoodie or not,
yeah. So for Camp Mograph, we had like 1 million different views. I can look those up. Let's see.
Yeah, we had one specifically for meals that said, you know, these are the people who had dietary restrictions or allergies. So we were able to take that and then print that off for our people and say, these are the allergies or these are the dietary restrictions that people have.
Right.
You know, And
So
then like being able to see airline bookings and then figuring out like outbound like shuttle schedule and stuff and who's going to be on what. Oh, and the cabins. The
the
cabins are
cabins was
awesome.
great.
The
Yeah.
cabins was great because like we were able to organize who was in what so that we could see exactly how many people were in each cabin and stuff. And they all they were was it turned every single person into one of these little cards. If anyone's ever used Trello, it's very similar to Trello where every single thing is a card and you can just drag and drop them to wherever you want. Very,
I can
very
show
cool.
this. I can show this right here. I'll actually bring this up. So, for example, each one of these people right here are people who were attending. And if you click on this block, you'll see all of that information we were talking about. It's all there. Each one is a piece, right? So you can, though, physically drag this to, you can see the top. We have, is it a treetop house?
Yeah.
Is it, what village it was in or whatever? You can drag these people to those topics, and then in the database, it changes where they're staying. It's all based on that initial database. So using that to do for a project, you do assignments. So if you go to an assignment board, you can say, well, 4 people are attached to this on this project, and you can see workload by doing it that way. You organize by the person working on the project. You drag, oh, this is the card for this project. Boom, drag it in there. They get a notification, hey, you've been assigned this project.
Yep.
And
it's like that the card one is very similar to Trello, and I enjoyed that. I really enjoy being able to drag and drop ones to wherever I need, but like the fact that the entire thing is a database, you don't have to do it that way if that's not the way you work.
Right.
If you work with just a list and due dates, you can sort it by that as well, which is great.
And you can also choose what shows up on those cards. So, for example, we also did a shuttle schedule.
Yeah.
And it just resorts it in that order, and it says this person is on shuttle 1 at this time, shuttle 2 at this time, or whatever. And so when we were trying to schedule people and had a sign-up list, we could literally just drag, and then you can see, oh, there's 12 people in the shuttle. That's the max. You know, and you can see that
we'll need
data.
a second shuttle.
Right.
Yeah.
And now on those, I actually had, like, that's why I'm not showing this. I had the person's name. We also have, using that thumbnail thing, we have a headshot of theirs so we know what they look like if we haven't met them. Especially at the airport, right? You know, if somebody's showing up to pick a group of people up, they can look and they can see what they look like. And it has their phone number if they need to contact them and say, hey, the shuttle's here. Did you land? Did you have a flight issue? So relating that back, of course, to project management, again, it's just about having that data available. So what else did we have? What other kind of views did we use to do our other projects? I'm going to go back to my super secret project that I can't talk about. And I'm going to go through.
One thing that I wish Notion would do is be able to read an Excel file, like a Google Sheets file, to where you can send out a questionnaire or something, a form, and it auto-populates within your Google Sheets, and then Notion reads from it, which that would be really nice. Are there some things that you do automate with, Well, like, for example, do you use Mograph? You use it for Mograph TV as well, right?
The thing is, it's not a perfect syncing solution. So if you're looking for a syncing solution, it won't work. It will bring in certain things. You can do automations through Dropbox. I'll show you that because I can show you how Mograph TV runs, essentially. So let me just bring that up and hide my other projects here.
We gotta be real careful.
I know. So right here you see Mograph TV. It is very simple. I do like that they have changed the way that Notion works in the last couple days, actually. So all of those views show up at the top now as tabs, right?
Oh, that's cool.
So for example, if I want to see all videos on Mograph TV that are available, like, this is literally everything. This is everything in the world that you can think of, right? So let's say if I type Andrew Kramer, You know, it shows up with anything we have in the database that has Andrew Kramer in it, and you can click on it, and you can see that info. You can see when it went in, and you can see this link because it does links, and it's a link to where that falls on Dropbox if you want to watch it, right? And the way that it works is we do an integration with Zapier.
Zapier.
I don't know if it's Zapier or Zapier.
Zapier.
Yeah.
Zapier.
So it will, if anytime it sees a file in a particular folder, it'll bring that in. So there's a lot of automation stuff that you can do to really, you know, get this stuff going. If you're doing a one-off project with a client, it's probably not worth it. Now, we do have like a project management system for the individual projects, like not the drill down of all this stuff within the project, but like for each individual project. So if somebody's like, oh, I need a logo made. Okay, we put that in there. Where is it at? And the status, what I like to do is not only put, oh, this is in rough draft mode, 90% deliverable, it's done, but it hasn't been invoiced is one of them that I like to put in there. We're done, but I haven't invoiced. To remind you, right? Because sometimes you forget to invoice. Yeah. You're just working on other projects. And it's like, crap, I didn't invoice that on time. So now you can look at status. You can group things now to where it's something they added. So you can say, here's all the stuff that's in rough draft mode. Here's all the stuff that's being worked on. Here's the stuff that needs to be invoiced. So when it's time to sit and invoice, you just look at that section. What you can do with this data is absolutely amazing. Yeah. You know?
It is tough to wrap your head around at first, but once you do, it's like anything's possible.
Right. Going back to going back to the schedule, for example, so it allows you to put in dates. It's a little iffy just depending on how you're using it, but you can put in like start and end dates and go into a timeline view. So when I'm doing scheduling, what I do is, you know, there's a lot of stuff in that database, right? You saw all those videos. So I'll go through and I'll decide kind of what I want to show that week or that month or whatever, right? And let me turn my thing back off again and show you this screen. So right here, you can see that I have something called mark, and it marks it. It's like, oh, I want to mark this for potential use. So these are the ones that have already shown, some of this stuff that's already marked. These are things that have shown, right? If I go back in here, and I could have used the tab now that is new. What's cool is my stuff comes in unsorted. There's nothing in here. If a new file is in Dropbox, it shows up here. And I put in like all sorts of info on it. I put in the subheading, the sponsor, whose content is it. Then it goes into the regular database. But this schedule feature, this is something that we use when we're doing projects as well. So I'm going to show how this works is you can take the dates that are inside of this piece, right? Like here's the 3D Motion Show talk in Toronto, and you can see all the information on it. If you click on it, you can see when it aired. So the dates actually will show up on a timeline view. So what's great about this is if you have a team working for you, with you, whatever, and you want to give them deadlines, you can put this in here, and you can get this quick rundown and say, okay, these are all the things happening on this day or this week. You can zoom in, zoom out. What I absolutely love about this is the assignability of any of these pieces. So what's today? The 21st, right?
21st, yeah.
You can see that Isaac and Rocket Lasso, the Swarovski episode, everything that is going to play today is here. The way that I do it, though, is I have those marked pieces, right? I can literally take my mouse and move it to the day that I want it, and then just click, and it goes to that date, and then it will be on this list down here. Like, so that's
and I love that
so valuable.
You have everything grouped by day, like that you can actually do the groupings now. You know, that's something that they just recently added. Yeah.
So it's so easy to do all of this. Now back to the project management portion of it. Let's talk about managing the project itself. So we have this system in place. Then we have, for example, if you know how we were showing how you can bring up one of those things and it becomes its own page. Each one has a comment system. at the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can @ people in the project, and they get a notification just like you would on like Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And it says, hey, I just finished this, and the client's waiting for this thing. As soon as it comes in, we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens with that? I finish it. I said, I need Jeremy to do something. Okay.
Yeah.
I change the status because we're waiting for the client. I change the status to hold for client, and I write him the note that he's waiting, right? He's like, okay, I don't have to do anything right now because we're waiting on the client. When the client comes back to me and says, okay, here's that logo you needed. Well, you can attach an image. So you go and attach an image, and you go into the comment system. You say, hey, Jeremy, this just came in from the client. We're good to go. You change the status so that the status says, in progress or whatever. You can do a separate view, and this is what we do with the all the main project management. You can do a separate view, and I forget what I called it. Actionable items is what I called it. So it is a card display board with those people's names, an assignment board. However, it has a conditional inside of it that says, don't show anything that's on hold. Don't show anything that's on hold for client, anything that's complete, anything that's archived.
Only actionable items.
Right. So somebody you're working with shows up, and they look at that and they say, today, here's what I can do right now. And that's super important. What I found is working like this over the last year or so that we've been using it has really saved on like email chains or texting or calling or whatever you have to do, and if you get other people involved in your projects on it, if you want to go, like if you want to add your client, I don't know if you would want to, but if you did want to, you can give them special permissions. You can have it so they can't delete stuff. But you could go in there and really be able to work with the project and other people. There's so many times that literally the whole process has just worked through Notion. And no emails happened, no texts happened, nothing. The whole project was completed within the confines of this, where Nick does a lot of our class editing, for example, Pickle Nick. Yeah. So let's say like today, Mark uploaded some new files. They're in a specific folder that he has access to, and I do a note, and I'm like, hey, there's this new thing. And like if Mark's in there, he's like, hey, Nick, I changed this deal. Here's the time code. The footage has been uploaded. He sees the notification, and he looks at that, and he makes changes. And then like we don't even have to have that second conversation. We don't have to have a meeting about a meeting. A meeting that could have been an email. It's a meeting that could have been a Notion, right? Yeah. So that's very helpful. Now, when it comes to the other aspects of project management, like file systems, there's a lot of different ways you can work, and we praise Dropbox all the time. Yeah, it's not perfect.
Here's the thing: Dropbox has been knock on wood, knock on wood. Dropbox has been really good to me for the past few years. I have not had any issues where I've had to resync my entire Dropbox. There's been a few times where if anyone who's listened to every episode of this show, Paul Robinson, I'm looking at you, they will know that I have complained about Dropbox just randomly resyncing for no reason. But at one point I realized I haven't had to do that in a really long time. And with their selective sync stuff, it's fantastic. So, for example, my laptop, I don't use it that often, right? It is mostly, I bought it so that I could do Octane like sitting downstairs or something, or if I'm going on vacation and I need to do some Octane stuff. This was back before, Octane ran on Mac and stuff like that. So, I got that Razer laptop. It's only got a 1060 in it, but, if I need to work on it. But what happens is I won't use it for 6 months, and the Dropbox is going to spend all this time resyncing, everything, and I don't want that. So what I end up doing every time I open up that laptop is deleting Dropbox entirely, and then selective syncing only the stuff that I need. And it's pretty fantastic. I let it go for a few hours, and then I've got all the projects that I'm going to be working on or may work on while I'm gone out of town. It's pretty fantastic.
the thing about working on Dropbox is okay. We work on it like all the time, 100%.
All
Everything
the time.
is on
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, if you have an organization,
Mm-hmm.
a business like
Yeah.
ours, you have a certain folder that anyone in the business has access to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can add somebody who's like an employee or a long-term contractor or something to it. The only sucky thing about that is I can't take any folder underneath that and say,
Yeah.
oh, give access to this one person. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do a shared folder. It has to
You
be
can
outside
share
that
the
folder.
folder, but
share it.
you can't collaborate on a folder.
Right.
I wish you could
Yeah.
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're working
Yeah.
with someone outside of your organization, which we sometimes do, it has to basically be in your root Dropbox folder.
Right. And you share that with
Kinda sucks.
everybody because you
Yeah.
can't share a subfolder. Like, for example, we might have some documents or something, business documents or other things in another folder. We don't want everyone to have access to that, but there is no
Yeah.
way to say, oh, I want this person to only have access underneath that folder.
Yeah.
It's not possible. I don't know why
Yeah.
it isn't. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that would be amazing.
It would
But
be. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We're working with Cam on a project right now, and last year when we worked with him, we didn't want to go through all that rigmarole and grant full access.
Plus, we were
to
already
anything.
halfway done with the project.
Right.
Yeah.
And now
So-
keep in mind, we have like 30 something terabytes on Dropbox, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants to hook into that. You're going to have to do a lot of selective sync and cloud stuff and all of that.
Mhm.
So you have to share it outside. So he was having to package the files when we were done. It was hard to get access to the other files because we had to send them individually. So this year we're doing the entire project outside the root, and then we'll move it over later
Yeah.
so that he can work on it.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And so the way that we do this is I have a folder set up, and it's called folder temp, and it is just empty folders, and they all have names. I've got an After Effects folder, AI, I've got an audio folder, I've got a Cinema 4D. We use the Cinema 4D folder for
That's where we
rendering.
also put our renders and our
Yeah.
3D models as well.
Yeah, there's
Any
a models.
3D models.
The text folder obviously is in Cinema 4D with render. So anything in that render folder, we're talking image sequences, right? Or if you have multiple shots, shot 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all folders in that render folder, and they all say, and they all have their own individual image sequences. But that is just Cinema 4D renders, and we have a separate render folder in the root for the final renders, or
Right. Or approval renders.
approvals,
or
whatever. There's a footage
basically
folder.
anything going to the client goes in that render folder.
Right.
Yeah.
And we
Which
don't do a lot of
Dave and
video.
I differ in the way that we like to do our folder structure. We always have, but he kind of wins over it because I don't. Anytime we're working together, he hates my folder structure, so I just let him do his thing. It's
Yeah,
fine,
I create
I
the
know
folder
his well
structure
enough.
first,
He
so that
doesn't know mine. Yeah,
you can't get to it.
He throws
Yeah.
all the
Too late.
files in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, me personally, I like to do just like project files, audio files, graphics, and then in my project files, I do Cinema 4D, After Effects, Premiere. All of those have their own folder.
Yeah.
Then graphics have PSDs, illustrators, JPEGs, stuff like that.
But the main one we use is the After Effects, AI, Audio, C4D, footage for effects or whatever. I also do a text folder inside of AEP because sometimes it's just you need a place to throw. I have a logo that I have to throw into this comp, and it's easy to remember where that goes. And then there's a ref folder, and usually what you'll see for me anyway is that I have there's always a file in there called pure ref. In that reference folder, and pure ref is always going to be the pure ref file that goes with that project. It always has the same name.
We also throw all of the client files that people send, that clients send us. We put that in the reference folder as well. So in case we ever need to go back to them, we can reference what the client sent us.
But that's what we like about doing Dropbox for a big project. Is let's say the client sends a reference, and we have to show one of the other contractors working on that particular project what that reference is. Well, we put it in the reference folder, then you just hop on Notion. I mean, you could attach that if you wanted to, but you don't have to.
We sometimes put Dropbox links within Notion.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you can
Put it
find this
here.
here instead of saying, oh, it's in this location or whatever. Yeah.
But if somebody's synced on the project, they already have it. They know it's in the ref folder. So you can just comment on the project on Notion and say, hey, the client got back, they put it in the ref folder. And that's in a situation we were holding for them. You change that status. Another thing with status and priorities is something that I use for a personal to-do list kind of thing. And that's like personal priority. And this varies. I come from the getting things done method, the GTD method, which is extremely drilled down, like OmniFocus. It was way overkill. But there's things that I've learned from that system that have carried over to the new way that I do to-dos. I use Todoist still, but I just use it as a place to throw something. You know, notes for episode 3, whatever. Dorpy script for today. It's always in Todoist. So I don't really use that to its full ability anymore because everything's in Notion. My priority system goes like this now. Because back in the Todoist days, and hopefully some people identify with this situation, and it's something Nick Campbell actually mentioned years ago. If you're doing a personal to-do list like on paper, every day you take that to-do list and you rewrite it. And I'm sure Nick heard that somewhere else. It does seem like a lot of work. And you know why? That's because if there's something that's on your to-do list that you keep moving every single day, maybe you should figure something out with that. Right? So what would happen is on my to-do list, I have my to-do list and everything's due tomorrow. You know, or this week or whatever. And every day I'm going in and I'm moving that date and I'm moving that date and I'm moving that date. And I'm trying to figure it out. I've come up with a way better system, and I wish I could show it to you right now. At some point, maybe I'll do a TikTok on it or something with a fake to-do list. But the priorities are this. Instead of trying to think of it in terms of date, think of it in terms of priority. And the way I do this is I have a priority called soon. Okay, it's not an emergency, but you should probably do it like today or tomorrow. You know, at worst, like maybe the end of this week, right? Soon is soon. Now means when you sit down at your computer, this is the first thing that you need to do. Yeah. And I have 3 things on my list right now. I've got a Mograph Nugs post from last week, which is done. So I'm going to change the status. Now I post that every week. Right? So I'm going in right now. I'm changing it from now, because I hadn't changed it from last Friday when I posted, or Saturday, to this week. That's the next priority name. It's called This Week. Just means I need to do this sometime this week. Yeah. So that goes down onto my This Week chart. And I have all my This Week stuff. And at the beginning of every week, usually on Tuesday, I go through my emails. And I go through the client stuff, and I go through stuff from contractors that we might need to follow up with, get something they need. All those notes go in to the bottom of the list where there's no priority, there's no sorting, there's no anything. And when I'm done with my emails and everything, I'm like, all right, let's prioritize all of these. This guy needs this thing in order to work on this project today. Well, that's now. This one needs to be soon because I need to get to that like today or tomorrow, but it's not an emergency. And then this, if I can get it done this week, I'll put it on this week. Once all of that is done and you have kind of a priority thing, then you go to the date column and decide when you want to do it. That's when you go to your calendar for any large items that are going to take you like hours to complete and put it on your calendar, because that gives you that 30,000 foot view before you're trying. Because if you try and go in this cold turkey and you don't have a list and everything that comes in, you try and put it on a calendar, you're going to be rearranging that calendar the whole time. You know, so this is 30,000 foot view, and each one of those has all the same options, right? You click on that thing, it opens up a page. You can put notes, you can tag somebody if you have a collaborative list. And so the other priorities we have now, soon, this week, and you can color code these. It's all pretty. You also have next week, this month, this quarter, this year, and then I have a special one called whenever. And there's a very good reason for that. I would put stuff on my to-do list all the time, and it would just, that's never going to happen. It's I would love to do that, but it's not going to happen. I'll put that, and I would choose a date like maybe
a tutorial that you want to do, an idea for a tutorial that you want to do. Right.
And sometimes you're like, yes, I want to do that next week. But then a project comes up, and then you got to travel, and then you have a better idea for a different tutorial, and you forget it. It goes to the wayside, and you're
Right.
on your to-do list, like, pushing it. Oh, didn't happen in 3 months. I'll push that another 3 months. Just keep going. It's better to put it on whenever. Because let's go back to the GTD method. You did Friday reviews. It had a little coffee mug. You know, you review it when you want to review it. But say every Friday you go back and you look at that. Is there anything on my whenever list that I would like to push up the chain and say, you know what, you've been promoted to next week?
You've been promoted.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that are on there. Like, for example, buy an RV. That's on there. You know, buy an RV someday, whenever.
Make $1 million.
Right. So that's kind of how that's managed. And the great thing about Notion is that you can make your own personal dashboards, and you can insert all the databases for everything else. Yo, dog, I heard you like databases. So we put a database in your database. So you can product. Are you drinking a Duff? You're drinking a Duff. How old is that? What is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a real Duff.
It's an orange sparkling beverage. It's
Well,
not a
that's
real Duff,
interesting.
no.
Huh.
Yeah, they had it at my gas station next to my
That's
house.
funny.
I was like, oh, this will be
How
funny. I'll
old?
drink
It's
it.
not old, is it?
No, it's like a week old. No.
Oh, okay. I thought, because I have old Duff
gotta have
cans, but they're like from
You gotta
10
have
years
the
ago.
logo showing. There we
Yeah.
go.
This episode's sponsored by Duff.
This episode's sponsored by Notion, apparently.
Yeah. Duff and Duff Dry. Ooh, yeah.
First thing I'm gonna do is have a what is it that Grandpa Simpson says? Gonna have a thing of
I don't know.
Jolt Cola or something.
Jolt Cola.
The bubbles, they burn my mouth.
So the dashboard thing. I have my own dashboard, and it has all my tasks for Mograph. It has all the projects. Again, this comes back to sorting, which is any Nexus projects that are actionable that have my name on them. That comes in. So Nexus projects, it will tell me you got 2 things you got to work on this week, and it groups it, and it goes through. It has Nexus projects. It has Nexus tasks, like do taxes. That's done.
Yep.
That's done.
Yep. Thank goodness.
Let me go into the status of that. Complete and archived. I also have my personal to-do list, right?
Personal taxes.
Yeah, do my personal taxes, go to the eye doctor, rebuild this computer with that case you bought me 6 months ago.
Yeah, right.
But guess what it says next to it?
Whenever.
Yes. There you go. Because it's not
that's
a
good.
priority. Because you
Right.
get in those jams, right? You get in those life jams where you're so overwhelmed, you
Yeah.
have no idea what to do. And if you take 30 minutes to an hour, even though you got all of that stuff pending, you go in and you sort it this way, then you can look at now.
I
There's
like
3 things on
thinking
now.
of the whenever as the hyperfixation bit, you know?
No, I
where
get
it's
that.
like I need something to just hyperfixate on a little bit, I'm gonna do this computer thing, and as much of a pain as it kind of is, it's nice to get away from something and hyperfixate on something that's not, I don't know.
Well,
It's not the same.
Mograph TV was a hyperfixation for me. I had to prove to myself that I could build a television station,
Yeah,
an entire
which you did.
television station.
You did a great job.
Yeah, and now I'm done, and now I'm over it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I did the thing. I proved I could.
Yeah. And now you just gotta upkeep the thing.
Yeah. So, it's just so nice to be able to say, I have a lot of conversations with Julie about this, like trying to get my shit under control.
Yeah.
From an organizational standpoint and from a schedule standpoint, and like Mondays are all this show, and
Yeah,
Fridays are
it's-
all scheduling, and
Yep.
Wednesday all
Jam-pack
day.
in the morning, yeah, and then
Yeah.
you hope that you can maybe get something. Well, me personally hope I can get something done as soon as the show is done.
Yeah.
Monday deadlines are always the worst.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And so something that Dan Benjamin on his show with Merlin Mann says, Back to Work, and I'm sure he got this from somewhere else, and I've said this before, is the only way out is through. And sometimes you're overwhelmed
That's from
with work.
it's from
It's in a lot of
Lost
things.
in Space. isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
The Lost in Space movie.
Yeah, it's probably
where they
that.
decide to go through the sun instead of I don't know.
Oh, I don't
around
remember.
it.
But sometimes it's true. The only way out is through, and sometimes you're so overwhelmed that it literally comes down to all I can do is concentrate on what is in front of me right at this moment because the rest of it is just too much. So it's only going to get complete if you sit down and do it. And if you have this kind of system set up, especially if you have multiple databases into a dashboard, you can see there are only 3 items that say now for today out of your 150 things on your list, and nothing else you're going to do is going to matter at this point because today is about those 3 things. And something about getting that down on paper and just diving through your emails and getting everything under control is so calming, especially if you do it at night. If you're overwhelmed at like 10 o'clock at night about what tomorrow is, sit down and do that, and then you will rest easy.
100%. I totally agree with that. And like, for example, for our business, we weren't at the beginning, we weren't that great at like keeping track of what projects are coming in, money wise, financially,
that too.
What is coming in, what's going out, what are we paying people, what subscriptions do we have, what software do we have?
Ooh, you should talk about the burn sheet.
Let's talk about the burn sheet.
I got to pee. You start talking about it.
That's fine.
Okay.
So the burn sheet is stupid in a way, but I love it. So a few years ago, I think it was 2019, I needed a way to know what was coming in, what was going out, because there was just so much that I didn't know at what point were we going to run out of money, what point. And I'm sure there's other ways to do this in like QuickBooks or something, because I know we've been recently using Wave Apps, and Wave Apps accounting stuff you can go through and you can reconcile, and then you can get like a what's it called? Basically a summary of, stuff that's coming in versus what's going out and how much your company is worth. Company's not worth much, by the way. But it was really comforting once I started the burn sheet. And the burn sheet is stupid. It's just an Excel file. It is just a very simple Excel file that has, the date, who the client is and the project, how much money is coming in for that project, how much money is going out for that project, and then a running total.
Okay,
so
good.
We've
you're
been
you're
doing
still
this.
going. I was afraid you were going to run out of things.
So
I pushed real hard to make sure that I get back faster.
So we've been doing this since 2019, and like I just needed to know, how much. And it was so stupid because like, sometimes you're like, okay, at what point am I going to run out of money?
Yeah.
How much? Because we always say have 3 to 6 months saved up if you're going to go freelance, which a lot of people don't, and it's okay. Have 3 to 6 months saved up so that you've got that covered just in case something happens. And so we like to know, hey, at what point are we going to go broke?
If we don't get any more work,
if we get no more work at all,
starting
today, at what point do we go broke?
Right.
And it's really cool, seeing that date change to later and later, and very scary when it's getting earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
That's what really pushes you in order to go make more sales or something. But really, the burn sheet is simple. It's, who the client is, what the project is, what the date is, date you expect to be paid as well, or whatever. That's where I put the burn sheet is, when I expect it to get paid. And if it gets paid earlier, I move it up. If it gets paid later, I move it down, and then just adjust the formula. It's like, this is our total, and then I occasionally have to go through and just do an adjustment,
And you put your pay or dividend payouts or both.
Your dividend payouts, your payroll. Yeah, you put contractor payouts, everything.
And that's an overhead. You make sure you mark that as overhead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mark. I just mark it as contractors.
Well, I mean, in the end, so it's not tax.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, but it's just a basic burn sheet. It says, here's how we're burning through our money.
Yeah.
And this is when we burn out.
And you got it all color coded nice too.
Yeah,
you know.
And what's cool is I wish I could bring it up and show you, but then you'd see all of our projects and how much money we have, or how much money we don't have.
Yeah, it's gradients though. You put gradients in, so as you scroll through the year, like lower and higher numbers look different.
It's cool. Like so basically, I did a formula where it basically reads, it takes the previous amount, and then adds in the money that's coming in minus any work that's associated with that, and then gives me a new total. And I just have that go all the way through. But what I also had it do was I color coded it to where if it's higher than the higher amount that it goes, the more green it gets, and the lower amount that it goes, the more red it gets.
Yeah.
So you can see, like, once you're nearing the end of the amount of money that you have, it starts to get a little pink, then red, and then it gets really red and stuff. But it's a way to quickly glance and know, okay, I've got money coming in, I'm gonna burn out, February of 2023. That's what we've got. With all the money that we've got coming in, if we get no more work for the rest of the year until February 2023, that's when we'll burn out.
And we'll still have paychecks. We'll still have contractors paid.
We'll still pay out
employees,
all our contractors.
Yeah.
And it's great because you can kind of know what's going to happen through the rest of the year. Every little thing that's coming in, you can add them in and stuff like that. We've got some that are on retainer, and so we've got the retainers marked up, and it's a really great way. And you can use the previous years. Like, I've got tabs from previous years, where it's carrying over and stuff like that. And so that I know, 2023, 2024, what to expect from those years as well.
You estimate. The estimates are great because you can go. I know a lot of people have those recurring yearly projects, and you can estimate and say, here's where we think we're going to be.
Right. Or yearly expenses. Like, we have an American Express bill. What can we expect for each month? Because we know some months we're in NAB. Some months, our subscriptions are renewing. So we know exactly, I go through, especially for the next year, I estimate how much, or based off of the previous year, how much is going to be each month. So I know a general idea,
And then when it comes to contractors, you kind of have to make a decision too. A lot of people who are just subcontracting other contractors are just contractors to begin with,
right?
And I don't know if that honestly don't know if it's easier or more difficult. But when you bring these people on, you have to decide first of all, are you paying them, contract 1099? You got to get them at 1099.
I can't speak higher about Gusto, by the way.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah. So Gusto is something that we've started using this past October, because if you run a business and stuff, if you run an S corp, you really need to be paying yourself a salary.
W-2.
A W-2, and then you can take dividends as well. So we started paying ourselves a salary, a reasonable salary and stuff like that.
And so that's the tax code
correctly.
Reasonable salary is actually what it says. It's very hard to judge.
It's hard to judge, but there are politicians out there that don't pay themselves anything, and then just pay themselves dividends, but whatever.
Steve
so
Jobs
we're being
made $1. That
right.
Was his,
So we're being honest about this, you know.
So, what it comes down to is what they say
Gusto.
is how much would somebody in your position, if you were working a job, get paid? You put that in there. You do the rest as dividends because you don't pay Social Security tax on dividends,
right?
Or not dividends.
Self-employment
distributions.
Tax or, distributions. Yeah,
it's a different word.
Yeah. So with Gusto is fantastic. I absolutely love Gusto. And if you've got contractors that you're paying, then get Gusto.
It's so great.
It's so great. It costs a little bit of money per person that you pay each time. It's like $12 per contractor or something, or maybe there's 5 for free or so. I don't remember the exact amount, but it's worth it because what happens is if you spend the entire year using Gusto to do all your payouts for your contractors and stuff, at the end of the year, your W-2s or your 1099s are already done. You don't have
And
to do
W-2,
anything
same
else.
with employees.
Yeah, same with
all
employees.
the taxes, they pay the taxes for you to
Pay
where
the
they need to
taxes,
go.
it automatically comes
file
out
the
of your bank
forms.
account. You don't worry about any of that stuff, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic. You basically do it once and then you're good, you know?
Because we were using
And-
spreadsheets and trying to keep track of stuff manually. And even the
Right.
onboarding system, Gusto onboards people automatically when you enter them into the system, which is cool. So you can say, hey, we're going to work on this project. I need to get your info. Because there's nothing worse than sitting down at the last second to do your 1099s and realize you don't have somebody's W-9
Yeah.
or whatever it is that they need for their social security number and all the info you need. And then you're trying to track them down and like you got 12 hours left before you have to file because you waited to the last minute. And
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that anymore. You
Yeah,
don't have
you
to
don't.
do those stupid government websites that suck.
Yeah.
They take care of that for you.
Yeah.
This episode's sponsored by Gusto.
This was so I love Gusto. When I Gusto was confusing at first when I first got onto it, you know, like we had an accountant who was just awful. And we originally hired her because we needed the payroll stuff, you know. And then what ended up happening is we hired her and she's like, "Oh yeah, you can do that yourself." And I'm like,
I
"All right."
know.
So she told us about
Yeah.
Gusto, and I thank her for that. But still, like Gusto is fantastic once you just go ahead and sign up and stuff like that and get everything worked out. And what's cool is if you've got multiple companies like we do, you know, you can easily set it up a whole new company, or even if you're a contractor for someone else, you know, like and they're using Gusto, you can see your own contracting stuff, so you can see what's going on there, which is pretty cool. Gusto's great. I can't speak higher enough about it. Another thing with accounting, if we're already on that,
Yeah.
So what I would recommend, if for anyone, so I know a lot of people like QuickBooks, you know. I personally don't love QuickBooks because I think it's very confusing, you know. I recently discovered Wave Apps for using, you know, accounting software and stuff like that, and got everything set up. And so what I recommend to people, if you're going to go that route, if you want to go through and do your accounting stuff, Wave Apps, if you're already using Wave Apps for invoices, Wave Apps accounting stuff is really awesome, and it's also free, which is fantastic. So once you get everything set up, you can easily go through, like, say every morning, you know, go through and just like, oh, do I have any new things? That automatically syncs with both your bank account and any credit cards you have. You go through, itemize all your stuff, make sure your balance looks good, and you're good to go, you know. And at the end of the year, you can take that stuff, you can take a whole printout of everything that you did, and you've already got everything itemized, so your taxes are that much easier. And if you want, Wave Apps even can do your taxes for you. You know, it's like $800 or something. But
the thing about doing like your expenses and things throughout the year is you might write it down as like equipment, and the next one you write down as computer, and the next one and what happens is like even if you categorize them correct, then you realize that half of these actually should be in this category.
Right.
And it's not what it's called on taxes. They have it labeled what it would be once you hit TurboTax, you know. Oh, this is legal / accounting fees or whatever it is correct. And then man, it's so easy. So easy.
Yeah, so easy. So I definitely recommend profit and loss. Yeah, that's what that's what I was talking about earlier, where you can see a profit loss in your accounting stuff so that you know how much your company is worth.
And a lot of people use QuickBooks or are thinking about using QuickBooks. The problem that happens for us anyway is it gets overly complicated. And that's the reason we never used it before. But when our accountant that we only had for a short period of time told us to switch over and switched us over to it, she used a system using, again, Zapier that does the whole
Zapier was
conversion
pulling
to Wave
all
Apps.
the stuff from Wave Apps in order to incorporate it. And it's like we were like, why are we paying for Zapier when we could just use Wave Apps for all the accounting stuff? You know, all we're doing is keeping track of everything so that we can then use it for our taxes at the end of the year. It doesn't
Right.
matter where we use it, where we get the information or store the information.
Right.
It only matters that we have the information correctly documented.
Now, if you're working with accountants, CPAs, or whatever, sometimes they prefer that. That's why. That's their thing, because it makes more sense to them, but not to us. And in a bigger company, you probably do need a lot more functionality. It's not that.
But how much are you going to pay a CPA to do it anyway? You know, you pay
that's
$800 to Wave Apps, and everything's already set up.
That's what happened. Is we were paying for
this segment brought to you by Wave Apps.
We were doing the conversion. We were paying for Zapier for the conversion. We were paying for QuickBooks monthly just to have that duplicate copy. And then you called up Wave Apps, and they were talking. They can do that stuff for you. They can have an accountant actually do your books every month for the same price that we were paying for that.
Yeah. Oh no, for way. Yeah. For basically
it's like $150
bucks. Yeah, for basically how much we were paying for QuickBooks every month. You know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Jeremy said, if you have a CPA, you hand it, the profit and loss over. Now, I think the profit and loss, you're only required to file a profit and loss if you make over $200,000 or $300,000. I'm sorry, not a profit and loss. I'm sorry, a balance sheet.
Yeah.
There's a certain number where the balance sheet where you have to put in the numbers from your balance sheet on your taxes. I forget what that threshold is, but you have to submit.
But I mean,
but
it'll give you a balance sheet as well in Wave Apps or QuickBooks, whichever. Just the biggest thing is just spending the time in order. Like if you make that like the first thing you do in the morning is just check your your accounting stuff and just say, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. I'm done.
Or even weekly.
I mean, how many? Yeah, honestly, like how many? We have maybe 30 transactions. We have one. I think we averaged 1.25 transactions a day last year.
It's not really.
It's not that much.
So go to your Notion.
Important thing that Jeremy just pointed out, Wave Apps will reflect duplicate income if you're depositing checks and then recording the payment in Wave. What you have to do is you have to actually go into your accounting tab in Wave Apps and itemize that specific deposit as that specific
you have to
invoice.
Reconcile
and then
right?
it will automatically adjust it. So like I used to just this is a check coming in, all right, that one's paid. No, now you have to wait for that. Now I realize you actually need to wait for that check to clear first, and then you can go through and mark that as paid through your accounting.
So you go to your Notion, and on your to-do list you put priority now.
Right.
Because you have to do it now.
This
and
week.
You're done. Well, when you're done, then you mark it. You say next week, and then when you look at next week on the next week, you put that back to now. You just flip it back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, as far as the other project management stuff, I think there was one other thing I was going to say about.
Just started raining real hard here.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's the other thing we're dealing with today is crazy storms. Yeah. So one of the things that. We have to work on with contractors and things is their schedule, obviously, and payments. We talked about that. What else? Also, if you have any more project management questions you want to put in the chat right now.
The burn sheet is excellent for knowing what you can afford contractor-wise. Like if you've got projects, like we worked out some pay schedules with some people and stuff like that. See, me personally, I don't like to have invoices sitting for more than a week. Right. I like to pay them immediately. I've only recently have I had to like push it a week because I've been waiting for a couple of payments just because we've had big payments going out and stuff like that. But the burn sheet is excellent because it allows you to just know, okay, I can afford this if you just put in some generic numbers and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. The peace of mind that comes with the burn sheet too. That was the biggest thing. I cannot tell you how much, because I stressed about money a lot. Like, do we have this coming in, And Dave and I, we used to, we talk about, we've got this project and this project and this project. It should be this, this, and this, but we never put it down on paper.
Right.
And so we always just assumed that we would be good. for probably the first 2 or 3 years that we were working together, we just assumed that we'd have enough projects coming in, right? But one day I was like, I can't handle the stress of not knowing.
Yeah.
So I built the burn sheet, and I have not stressed about money since. Like, when it's coming in, when it's going out, you know? And Dave just kind of like, he's like, hey, are we good for this? Can we afford this? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. You know, we're good in the burn sheet, you know? Yeah. And he's like, hey, how much are we getting paid this month?
Yeah, it helps you to plan for your Christmas bonus. That's what
Absolutely. That's another thing. Like,
because if you do it right, you can pay yourself a distribution at the end of the year.
Yes.
And you just got to decide how much do you want to give up on that.
Absolutely. You know. I mean,
because
we're good.
We didn't talk about that much, but I know we've probably talked about it on the show, but we pay ourselves a specific amount every 2 weeks.
For a salary.
Yeah, there's no project basis anything. Always a salary.
Yeah. We pay ourselves, you know, a W-2 salary or whatever. Then we also take, is it distributions? Is that what it's called? Yeah, distributions, you know, once a month, twice a month.
But it's generically the same amount unless there's a bonus. And what's great about bonus. That lets you put on that burn sheet, I have a paycheck for this long.
Oh, no.
You know? What?
Dave is frozen.
I'm frozen?
Hope he didn't lose power. Oh, there you go. Okay.
I hear you.
Okay, that was weird. Everything froze, and I was like, "Oh no, Dave lost power."
I bet it's on your side. I bet you're getting.
It might be.
Flickers.
Very well, maybe.
Yeah, I'm hearing the thunder too. So maybe we should get to the drop soon.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to say is when it comes to the projects themselves, when you're working on Dropbox with other contractors or employees or whatever, is that you need a version. That's the only thing in Dropbox. You got to make sure, like, you don't open a project and you hit save and someone else is hitting save.
Yeah.
Now, Dropbox will let you go back to the previous version, which is great.
Yes.
That's saved us a lot. But in general, best practice, always increment. If you open a project someone else had, just increment save it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be on the next version. No one's using that version, you know. So because you just created it. So you're always safe if you create that incremented version every time you go. So that's kind of how we make sure. And there's no final. It's just number everything, and you will never have an issue with what's the latest version. It's the one that's numbered the highest, silly.
Yep. Silly.
Yes. I think we should do the drop.
Yeah. We said it was going to be a short show, but it'll probably end up being 2 hours.
I know, right? How do we do that every time?
You and I are good at talking.
We're some chatty Cathys. All right.
I miss the two people. I'll tell you what, this is good. Like,
I know.
You know, it's not always great having a guest. We should do this, like, you know, once every couple months.
There you go, Cody. ABC always be versioning. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a throwback joke.
Yep.
From pre-video. All right, I think we're good. So hopefully I have all my things set up for Box correctly, and let's go to the drop.
I think you do.
The drop.
Is this the fucking mic?
Drop.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. I'm Matt Milstead. Joining me, as always, is Dave Koss. Let's get into the drops for this week. If I can bring them up. Hold on.
Let's see, Nifty. Oh, by the way, hey, you've got good news about.
I want to give I want to give the artists on Nifty this week props because every single one of them had put something on either their Instagram or their Twitter previewing their drop. And so, round of applause.
Good job.
I am very proud of all of y'all. You did a great job. You know, y'all are taking this crypto art seriously, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and hop into Nifty Gateway. It was cool. They've got, like, you know, they had 4 dates put up, which is cool. You know, the first one today is Ruben Ireland. This is beautiful work. Like, it's you know, monochromatic, black and whites and pinks, but I don't know what it is about this, but these are gorgeous pieces. I absolutely love these pieces. I think they look
Yeah,
so
this is good.
I think all the artists this week are really, really talented, and it's good to see some really talented people doing drops, versus, just musicians or brands that are trying to make a pretty penny.
I like the choice of 3 color here. I really like the sticking with the 3 colors on all of these. That's really cool. Yeah.
Absolutely
That's
gorgeous
great.
work. So that is Ruben Ireland. That drop is tonight. Next up on the list tomorrow, there are 2. Bring people again to the podcast one day.
We will. I'm sure we will. We need to catch up with him for sure.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, March 22nd. I want to say it's probably Noise. Yeah. So Noise is doing a drop for moving artworks. I believe Noise is a photographer, digital artist, photographer, director. 1.5 million on Instagram, whatever. I don't know if these are. Yeah. I don't know if these are photographs that they've done some After Effects work on, but they're very pretty work. I really love it. I love the subtleties with it and stuff like that. That one's called The Wonders of Mount Fuji, which is pretty cool. That one's I really like it.
You don't know if the subtleties are because they spent a lot of time on it or because it's photography.
Right. Yeah. The next one, also dropping tomorrow, is Idil Dursun. I'm not sure whether I'm saying that correct, but this piece is beautiful. I love the scale of it all, and I don't know if this is like a digital 3D piece or 2D or something. It looks like there's some greebles in there, along the top thing of the archway. That's actually absolutely pretty. Like, it feels big. I like it. So next up, March 23rd, we've got everyone's favorite shiny, muscly people, Jason Hebert. Gotta love Jason Hebert. Really big in the NFT space.
Day.
Really big in the NFT space. Jason's been done a bunch of drops on Nifty Gateway. Shiny people, what more can you say?
Shiny people.
Gotta love Jason's
Shiny
work.
plastic people.
Right?
Yeah.
So same day, March 23rd, we've got Glenn Wexler is doing a drop. Really pretty stuff called Improbable Realities Volume 2. But yeah. Some digital glitchy art, second drop from the acclaimed album cover artist. So,
what covers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know what they have done.
Does it say? No, it doesn't say.
Let me see if I can go to their
anything famous.
Folio.
Is this? Did he do Nirvana with the baby? I don't know.
No, I doubt it. Let's see, music and entertainment. I'm looking at the portfolio.
I like the one with
but it's not loading
on the stamps. Oh, it's all right. We can go to the next one. NBD.
Wow. Okay. Glenn, make your website go a little bit faster. All right. And then on the 24th, Xcopy is doing a drop. I believe Xcopy has done a couple of drops. This one's called Trader's Redemption. Fun, glitchy stuff. I really like the glitches in this one. It's not so, I don't know. Neat. It's fun.
Word up.
Oh, this is there's a burn one as well set for this one. On that Xcopy. So like they're doing a lot of burn mechanics. Nifty is lately. I'm pretty sure Blake Catherine, she's got a drop coming up in April. She's going to do a burn mechanic with hers as well. Like especially a lot of the artists who, had a lot of success last year on Nifty Gateway and sold tons of copies of stuff. And so there's an overabundance of some of those pieces of art, where they're doing a burn mechanic where you burn like 3 of their pieces of the same piece. And then you get, an entirely new piece, which is cool. Yeah. So that's cool. Next up, I did want to point this out before we actually go into the here, I'll send you a link, Dave, because I just want
Okay.
to point this one out because it's very funny. So Boss Logic did a collaboration with Snoop Dogg on
Like you
Maker's
do.
Place, and I freaking love it, man. Like I love Boss Logic as an artist. I think Boss Logic is a fantastic artist, but like you put Boss Logic and you put like Snoop Dogg together,
That is pretty cool.
like I gotta say his Boss Logic's animations, what he's doing with After Effects and the puppet tool is really cool.
This
like
is
go
all
down
the puppet tool?
I gotta assume, like you can tell it's kind of puppeted. It feels puppeted.
It's hard. Is it
Like I've done a bunch of work, a bunch of these cinemagraphs and stuff like that, like with the puppet tool, but it very much feels puppet tool. But
yeah.
gosh,
you
look
did
at,
something
go
with
down.
this with a popular video game a long time ago that I remember.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Look at the one on the right.
Yeah,
that one
that
is
is
killer.
really cool.
Like,
yeah,
that is absolutely insane. I love.
Is that
I'm
all
telling
puppet?
you, I bet you it's all puppet tool.
I love that. I love his insignia though. The weed signal.
Right. It's good.
nice.
Good
It's
stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, even look at
Yeah,
the
those look
very
great.
bottom one. Yeah. So that's if you're gonna do a collaboration, like look at this. Look at the way he like sits down, like right at the beginning. But the way he moves, like it's so good. It's so good.
There's no thing on it where I can restart
I
it.
know.
Let's see.
It's a shame.
It's called
There you
Enter the
go.
Pimp Cave.
Into the pimp cave.
Enter the Pimp Cave.
But like
He's got his little
this,
joint there.
This is what a collaboration should be. This is what a good collaboration
That's
should be.
awesome.
Yeah, so way to go, Boss Logic. I love your stuff. Okay,
Well,
so
yeah.
as far as the drop for this week, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm sure I didn't say that right, but the laws of adrenaline.
Ibrahimovic.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Trying.
I'm sorry, Zlatan, that I messed up your name.
Oh,
But this is a collaboration with several different people, Gianni Scadal, Hexgerat, Bonanza, and Tresoldi. It's all based on the football player, the soccer player, as we say here in the States. Featuring international footballing superstar and current AC Milan striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yeah, so okay. There you go. But it's a bunch of different pieces by a bunch of different artists based around this one person.
And
that's the only one
March
that's on.
24th.
So yeah.
Yeah.
If you or anyone you know has any drops coming up, feel free to email us info@mograph.com. We'll shill it on the show. But other than that, that's about all I got.
Oh man, look at this! Look at what just came up on my Twitter feed right there. Look at that guy on Red Giants Twitter.
I gotta say, I'm real pissed about this picture.
Why?
Because they straightened it. That looks stupid. That makes it look like I'm going like this, when in fact my head is tilted. And I'm mad that they turned it, because the head tilting is what makes it funny and makes it like cute and whatever. They straightened it to make it look like I'm like a cheesy like family picture.
It's ruined.
Yeah, it is ruined. Kevin, if you're listening,
Kevin,
I'm not happy with you.
Stop watching Breaking Bad or The Wire.
Stop watching
Get on that.
Breaking Bad or The Wire. Yeah. Yeah, they should have kept it straight. I don't know why they tilted it.
That's
like
funny.
The head tilt is
we need
great.
to do some freaking headshots, man.
Nah, dude. That was. You know what's funny is like
Mine
that
is
was
so old.
It is, yeah. All right, so we'll do a new one. We'll do new ones.
Okay.
Yeah. You got any Dorpy this week?
I do have some Dorpy this week. Do we have anything else we wanted to cover though? Is that all the? I don't
That's
know
all
if we
the
have
drops
any more
for
crypto
this week.
news or anything going on.
No.
But
Buy render tokens because render tokens. Yeah.
because render tokens are awesome. Here we go. Yeah. Let's just do it.
All right. What's
Hey,
up,
man.
Dorpy? What's
How's it
going
going?
on? It's
Been
good.
a while. Been
Yeah,
a
it
long
has.
while. I've
Been
been
2
so
weeks.
doggone busy.
Doggone.
I was beginning to think that making money in NFTs was just a fairy tale.
Oh. By the way, your TikTok was so hilarious. like the TikTok with the butterfly in the sky, the reading rainbow thing, and like how you just kept on going
Oh, thank you.
and looking around. It was so good.
It's really hard to do because the iPhone camera doesn't recognize my face because I'm a
I
dog.
was gonna say, did you have to green screen it and cut it out?
Yeah. So
That's good.
I was getting a little burnout from the NFTs, and I took some time off to stop and ponder the meaning of life. And
Yeah.
I realized that it's okay to make a living on NFTs without becoming a millionaire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
that idea is a little far-fetched.
Oh, far-fetched.
So the moral of the
Alright.
story is just stop chasing your tail.
Ah, there it is.
Okay, bye.
That was good, Dave. Was that off the top of your head?
No.
Or do you just have a whole list of like,
No, I
ongoing
write them.
jokes that-
I write them before the show. You know, in my Notion database.
Yeah. But seriously, that TikTok was very funny.
That was the problem. Is like, oh, I'm just gonna make this real quick, and I put him up to the phone, and it's not working, and I'm like, oh, it can't recognize his face.
That's funny.
So
That's funny.
I forget what I shot it in front of. It wasn't even green screen because I'm like, it doesn't have to be good.
Yeah.
So I just put him in front of like a blank background or so. I can't remember what I did. I just shot it against the wall and then did like the most awful because that's
Yeah.
what TikTok is anyway. They don't care
Yeah,
about
right?
quality.
Who cares?
There you go. Yeah.
The
I love that.
did you see the one with the same reading rainbow one in the space where it said I didn't expect it to pick up my baby's head as well? So
Oh,
you got
yeah,
two
I
heads
did.
floating through. Oh man, that one killed me. That was good.
Yeah, because I saw it. I'm like, it picked up the two of them, but not the dog. Okay,
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Speaking
fine.
of TikTok, for anyone who doesn't know who is on TikTok, follow Paul Estevez.
Yeah,
Like,
we need to get
doing
him on.
some crazy cool Houdini stuff. Like, yes, 100%. He does these quick Houdini node breakdowns and stuff. Absolutely cool stuff. Go follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he say? Each one, it's time for a new Houdini node. or
Yeah,
something like
time
that.
for a new Houdini node.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, or
Let's
something like
get
that.
into it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
We'll try and put that in the show notes as well. So
totally.
yeah, cool.
All right.
Cool.
Let's get back to the regular show.
Well, did you say the thing?
I did earlier.
Oh, you said the thing.
I did. Yeah.
The thing. All right, let's
The
go back to
thing.
the regular show. Here
All
we go.
Drop.
Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.
All right.
We're back. I guess we're gonna
We're
get out of here
back.
unless anyone has any more questions related to what we were talking about, all the
Yeah.
productivity stuff. But if you think of something later, or if you're listening not live and you have some more questions, please email us info@mograph.com or hit us up on Slack or
Yep.
hit us up on Discord. Now, a lot of people hit us up on Slack like or to get into the Slack every day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
emails every day. Discord, not as much. We don't
Yeah.
do quite as much on the Discord. We have the channels, but we mostly like
We hang
hanging out. I
Yeah.
would like to mention, I might have mentioned this last time, but when we do the invite, sometimes it brings you into the general video chat. And it's so
Yeah.
funny because we'll put the little invite out, and all of a sudden people will just start showing up. And all of us are in there just chilling or whatever, but they
Yeah.
think we're like interrupting an important meeting
Yeah,
or
no.
something. Just
There's
pop
no
in.
interruptions.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
Just come say hi. It's all good. Don't worry, you're not interrupting. We just goof around and waste time.
We like literally like me, Dave, Jeremy, and Nick are in there like almost all day, like actually doing our company's business. So if you want to see how a company's run over Discord, come hang out with us.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, don't be scared. Just come in, say hi.
Yep.
You know, you can lurk. We don't care, but come in, introduce yourself. Because we had one day in particular that like a whole bunch of people. We put something on Slack and somewhere
Yeah.
on Slack. A bunch of people were coming on every 5 minutes. There'd be like boom, boom, and someone show up,
Yeah.
kind of like, oh crap, and we're like, no, don't go, say hi, and then they disappear. They're
That's
probably
funny.
at work, like, or in a public space, and all of a sudden they
Right.
hear all of us. But whatever. So
Good stuff.
yes. All right. So
If you're gonna be at Motion Plus Design, hit me up if you want to hang out.
yes,
I'll be there
for
Saturday.
Sure.
I would really love to hang out with some people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think there's gonna be quite a few people there. And then next week is it Matt Silverman?
yes,
think
Matt Silverman,
Silverman
because
next week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super exciting. From
That'd be cool.
Swordfish, really
Yeah.
exciting. Great guy. Love that guy. So that should be a fun one.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that's gonna be fun because I'm gonna be tired AF.
Yeah, you are.
I fly out Friday. Luckily, Jags is letting me stay with him, so thank
Yeah.
you, Jags. He's letting me sleep on his couch, which we can afford a hotel, but we try and save some money.
Right.
So if I can save my company money, I'm gonna save my company money by hanging out with a friend, right? So Motion Plus Design is on Saturday. I fly out Friday night. Motion Plus Design is on Saturday. I'm gonna be hanging out the whole time. I don't know if there's any after parties or anything, but then there's another meetup I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about on Sunday.
Probably not.
No, it's and then so I'm going to that one, and then I fly out of LAX at 1 a.m. in the morning, and then get home at like 5:30, 5:45 a.m.
You better
and then
sleep on
drive
that
home,
flight.
get my kids to school,
Oh my God.
sleep for like a couple hours, and then do the podcast. So it'll be fun.
Man, I'm gonna have to wake
Yep.
you up, dude.
I know.
Yeah. Cool.
Dude,
Well-
this time change thing has messed me up.
Oh, I know.
And
Just
like
get
they're
rid of
talking about making it permanent, and I'm like, you shouldn't be bringing it forward. As much as I like the time, like the extra sunlight, I feel like I sleep so much better and I get up a whole lot easier at the other time.
Well, to be fair, this time is the official time, and the other one is the off time.
It's not. No, it's
yeah,
not.
it is.
Is it?
Summertime is the regular time.
I don't think it is. No, because you spring forward because you're saving daylight.
Right, but the original time was the summer.
I don't think so.
They pulled it back, and yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's
pretty
the
sure
case.
I looked into it.
Anyway,
It's true.
I like
saw it on
the other one
DuckDuckGo.
better. That and it's not on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Facebook
It's
Marketplace.
real. Yeah.
That's not on Trump's new website.
Oh, gosh.
No, but then like there's a 5-hour difference between Hawaii and Dallas.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we had the
God.
time change when that happened.
Yeah.
And so it's like coming back, I'm still not right. I'm staying up until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then getting up at 7, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Today,
Yeah.
I went back to sleep as soon as I dropped off my kids and slept for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's bad. And you
Yeah.
combine that with the fact that in March, then the allergies start flaring up
Oh
too.
my gosh.
So you
dude.
wake
I
up
was-
tired with allergies.
I had no allergies the entire time I was in Hawaii. I was outside in nature, doing hikes and spending time at the beach. I get home and my head, like I would lay down and I would stand up and I'd be like dizzy.
Oh, yeah.
Because of all the sinus pressure. It was awful.
Gotta get your Zyrtec on, man.
I've been taking pills
it
like
up.
crazy lately. Yeah. And then taking
allergy
allergy
medicine.
pills.
Ah.
There it is.
On that note, we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. It helps get our ratings up on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe to the newsletter, too, and get all the information about what's going on the show and event meetups and classes and what's going to be on Mograph TV and all of the things. Just hit us up on all of the things. Make sure you watch that Mograph TV. Turn it on and yank the knob off. We are always live. The newsletter. Yes, you can say you've been there, done that, got the T-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Feel the Bab 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. Render Things T-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee, the Mograph Blandishment shirt, and of course the That Render is Fire shirt, which you are only allowed to wear, ironically, unless you're shams.
Yeah.
Rev showed up just in time for the ending, which is great.
Hi, Rev. We miss
Hey.
you.
We made it through with no tornadoes or lightning or power outages or anything.
Knock on wood.
Hopefully that nothing happens during the editing of the show. We'll
Right.
see. Yeah. And check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and especially TikTok. Special content there. I am putting it on Instagram Reels as well if you want to catch it there.
I think we should do a
too.
T-shirt giveaway, like for TikTok, like where they're like, oh, share this, share. Oh no, so a lot of Twitter people are doing like share this post and tag 2 people in it.
Oh yeah.
Like those really crappy things that I never do. I think we should do one of those because
Yeah,
I
right.
don't do them. Someone else
Right.
should.
Right. Somebody else should do it, of course. Can't someone else do it?
Can't. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, we're done. We don't have anything
right.
else. And so we're going to get out of here. Until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, yo. Dave, turn around and look what episode we're on.